HarperCollins presents The Death of Us by Abigail Dean, read by Claire Skinner and John Hopkins. For Richard, with love. Part 1. Isabel. Let me talk again, then, about the night you came to our house. You won't know this, but there was a period in my life when I talked about it all of the time. All I seemed to do, in fact, was talk about it. I talked about it to the police, when I still hoped that they might find you. I talked about it in interviews. I talked about it to therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists. I talked about it to my friends and to my parents, and awfully to a woman in a bathroom at a party. And people wanted to hear it, of course. There was a greed in the way they listened, in the widening of an eye or the inclination of a head. Although at the time I was nicer, more patient, and I tended to entertain them well enough. Over the years I became less forthcoming. You'll realise that yourself soon enough. And eventually I refused to talk about it at all. You must never have talked about it. But did you come close? Were there moments when you sat down at your kitchen table, dark oak, beige tiles, with your wife at the stove and the telling in your throat? I've seen your kitchen now. The world has. Your kitchen is ugly. And believe it or not, it felt good to find this out. Did you rest your hands on one of those twee placemats decorated with woodland fauna of the British Isles and swallow it back down? The police tell me you gave your plea and nothing more. They think me a fragile thing, and they manage my expectations accordingly. I should not expect you to talk now. It's a pity. I would like to hear what you remember. I would like to know if your memory accords with my own. Who's to tell who's right, after all of these years? In my memory, it was the beginning of summer. The days were stretching, nudging away at the darkness. Edward and I had worked hard that year. On Fridays, we would unburden ourselves of the week, talking over cold wine, bowls of crisps, Edward's cooking. There had been irregularities in the weeks before, things that had unsettled me at the time. You had left us a few deft clues which Edward had shrugged away, which I thought of only on my way to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I did not think of them then. We stood in the kitchen, softening into the weekend. We were talking about an intern at Edward's firm, immortalised, I suppose, by having wept in his office that day. Her name was Ellie, and every now and then I still think of her. Good luck, Ellie. May you have learnt to cry in bathroom stalls and darkened rooms just like the rest of us. Edward was saying, in the way he had, that he intended to help her out, that he would talk to the partners on Monday morning and tell them she was flailing. Edward, the great mediator. He mediates real disputes these days, the kind consisting of thousands of documents and hundreds of millions of dollars. But of course, you know. I imagine you've checked in on us over the years. I imagine you like to know how we're doing. Edward and me, with our successes, I don't suppose we've ever been difficult to find. Edward rarely talked about his day in this manner without me prizing it open, and I remember the satisfaction of it, how close he felt. It was one of the things I liked the best, that he was not somebody who disclosed things to any old person, that he felt at times like the courtyard parties we used to pass, walking home from work through Temple, which let so few people in. You might have seen the happiness in my face captured in the kitchen window, the subject of some warm, comfortable painting framed by the dusk.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?